What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try really hard not to lose myself in this video. I'm just very frustrated with what the Dallas Cowboys are doing in free agency. Before we get into the details of why I'm frustrated and what exactly the Cowboys are doing, I would just like to point out that once again, the majority of you watching my videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if that is you, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button as well to get uploaded or to get notified anytime I upload or go live. Cannot talk. I got the Cowboys in my mind. I'm not focused on this intro at all. I apologize. Also, drop a like on this video. Leave a comment down below how frustrated you are with the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, the Cowboys have made one big signing this offseason. It's not even a big signing. I'm honestly just emphasizing big to make it sound like it matters when in fact it really doesn't. Even though it kind of does to a certain extent, but it's not really what we were looking for, okay? That big signing is a swing tackle, Ty Niskei. I don't really know how to say his last name. I'm not going to try and continue to say his last name. All I know is he was signed to a one-year deal to replace Cameron Ervin, who got signed with the Carolina Panthers to go be their starting left tackle, I believe, or right tackle. I don't know. Cameron Ervin's another swing tackle, so he could go either side. Basically, you're just replacing Cam Ervin for a cheaper cost. Also, I should mention that Cam Ervin is probably going to net the Cowboys a compensatory pick. So you could look at what the Cowboys have done this offseason. We'll get into all the rest of the moves a little later on in the video and think, well, it's not, terrible, even though it is kind of terrible. They've gotten some compensatory picks out of Cam Ervin, Andy Dalton, who just signed with the Chicago Bears, although I would have liked to retain Andy Dalton as our backup because he was a solid backup. It would have been too expensive. Okay, look, the Cowboys have nearly $20 million in cap space. You want to save at least $10 million for the draft. Also, you need to re-sign guys. Realistically, their only option was one big $8 million guy or two cheaper options in addition to, like I said, the re-signing you're going to do with like Aldon Smith. They already did with Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown. So guys like that. I wasn't really looking for the Cowboys to go out and sign everyone who I had on my lists in their previous videos where we went over defensive tackles, safeties, and corners. But at least one, like Dalvin Tomlinson maybe, who signed with the Minnesota Vikings for 2 years and around $20 million. That $20 million is pretty cheap for Dalvin Tomlinson, a guy who is one of the better run disruptors, something the Cowboys needed. I don't understand why Jerry Jones feels the need to not spend the extra dollar for a guy who can help your defense out at a position you were the league's worst at last year. The Cowboys could not stop the run to save their lives, and Dalvin Tomlinson would have helped that struggle out so much. On top of that, he's not only a run disruptor, he's more of a pass rusher than all the run disruptors on the free agent market right now. So, what are we doing here, Jerry and Steven? Seriously, I don't understand. He would have costed you around $9 million against the cap per year, at least I believe is the figure that I saw. You got enough money, go do it. You can't draft a defensive tackle and expect him to fix your problems like that. You could hit big by chance, but what you're looking for in this free agency is to get you prepared for the draft, okay? You don't want to go into the draft not doing anything in free agency and just banking on all your draft picks, fixing your defense. You can help the defense through the draft, but you cannot fix it. Dalvin Tomlinson would have fixed the defense, actually, I don't know. Maybe that's me going a little too far. He wouldn't have fixed the defense, but he would have fixed the problems up front. Because you have, assuming you got Dalvin Tomlinson, you have him, you have Neville Gallimore, you have Tristan Hill, you have now Antoine Woods, who they re-signed, okay? The linebackers, there's a bit of a problem there, so maybe stopping the run to its full extent isn't completely fixed, but as far as what the running backs are going through first, which is the interior line, that you don't have to worry about anymore. So Jerry and Steven Jones, why, I ask, why did you not just pay a little bit more for a guy that would have probably fixed everything you had going up front? Beyond that, Malcolm Brown, who was traded to the Jaguars. Now, we don't know the exact extent of the deal at the time of this recording, but what I can tell you is that for the Cowboys not to jump on a Malcolm Brown deal, seeing how his cap hit was only, I think, $6 million for this next year, blows my mind away. Am I surprised at this point? No. Okay, I'm going to admit, and I shouldn't have, came into free agency with these high of hopes, because this is just a common theme. Ever since the Brandon Carr signing, Jerry and Stephen Jones have, every year it seems like hinted at being aggressive, and then they just wait for like day 2 or 3 players to get at like super cheap deals, guys coming off injuries, maybe guys that are 30-plus year olds that they can just, low risk, high reward, take a chance on. That's not the philosophy to winning a Super Bowl. I understand loading up on free agents is not the smartest idea, but when you're the Dallas Cowboys, you have such an elite offense and such a terrible defense. You need to make some moves in free agency. I don't like what the Patriots are doing. I'm not saying the Cowboys need to do what the Patriots are doing, which is throw money at every available guy at a position they need. I don't think the Patriots are going to fare well with Cam Newton at quarterback, and I don't think all those weapons are necessarily going to help. Go ahead and bookmark this if you want. Come back to me if the Patriots end up winning the Super Bowl like they, might do, because they got Bill Belichick. I don't really care. It's my honest opinion right there. I don't like when teams throw all this money at certain older guys or veteran free agents like the Patriots are doing. So I'm not saying the Cowboys should have gone and done that, but at least a guy or two at the defensive tackle position, like I've already mentioned, Dalvin Tomlinson, trade for Malcolm Brown. Now you're left with Gerald McCoy. And listen, I like Gerald McCoy, okay? I really do. Gerald McCoy, he is a mentor. He's a mentor. That's the best way to describe him. Even after he was cut from the Cowboys, he helped Neville Gallimore get to where he is now, okay? Gerald McCoy is still in contact with guys he played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Gerald McCoy is a veteran leader in the locker room, and for that reason, I am a huge fan of Gerald McCoy. The only problem is he's 30-plus years old and coming off an Achilles injury. Do you trust that? Me personally, I do not, okay? Especially not after getting burned by Dontari Poe last year, who said he was 100% healthy and ready to go. And while that was true, he wasn't necessarily ready to go. He played terrible last year, and that was the reason he got cut, because he was not good. The Cowboys got burned by Dontari Poe. Luckily, we don't have any dead money there. As far as the safeties and corners, I had Richard Sherman, I apologize, DeMonte KZ, the other Falcons safety, and Malik Hooker. All those guys are still out there. There's still opportunity for the Cowboys to go out and sign one of those guys. I don't have high hopes on Richard Sherman, especially now seeing how the Cowboys and Pat Pete have been in contact. I think if the Cowboys are going to go out and get a corner, it's probably going to end up being Patrick Peterson. If not Patrick Peterson, maybe Malcolm Butler or something. Really, you're not going to assume at this point that the Cowboys are going to spend big on a corner, seeing how they didn't do so with a defensive tackle, and they need a defensive tackle more than they do corner, assuming they're going to draft a corner with their 10th overall pick. And we'll get into more draft videos later. I know a lot of people want to draft maybe Kyle Pitts. We'll talk about that after free agency. I like to lock in my draft picks once free agency is over and the team's kind of set for the draft. If the Cowboys weren't going to spend big at a position they needed the most, don't expect them to go out and get Richard Sherman. Probably Pat Pete, as I mentioned, or Malcolm Butler. As far as safeties, this is perfect right here. DeMonte KZ, Malik Hooker, both guys coming off injuries, unreliable, under 30, which is nice, but like I said, coming off of injuries. That fits the Jerry and Stephen Jones formula. Low risk, high reward. Look for them to maybe get cut in training camp if they suck or something. Any of those two guys, wouldn't be surprised to see him join the Cowboys. Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown. Cowboys got all their receivers back. They came back. I think Cedric was tendered. I believe I didn't read too much into it. I'm not 110% educated on those those draft pick tenders, but I believe he was tendered with a 6th. I want to say Antoine Wood's another guy that was tendered. I don't know with what pick. CJ Goodwin, unbelievably underrated signing. I believe it was 2 years, $3 million in that range. The best special teams weapon in the NFL. No doubt about it. Super pumped, super excited. What he was able to do with John Fossil last year was unbelievable. He came out of nowhere. I didn't really know CJ Goodwin was this good in special teams until he was paired with the right coach. So super psyched to bring him back on a 2-year deal. He is electrifying with that unit. And I think the Dallas Cowboys now have one of the best special teams across the entire NFL. Speaking of special teams, LP Latasaurus, surprised he didn't come back. He's 40 years old. He's been with the team ever since they played at Texas Stadium. I saw a picture of him at Texas Stadium the other day, which was kind of wild to me. But 40 years old, like I said, has played with the Cowboys his entire career. never been injured, never had a bad snap. John also just wanted his guy. Cowboys signed the Rams long snapper. I am drawing a blank on his name. I apologize. All you need to know, though, is that he's a long snapper. So do you really need to know his name? No, not really. Joe Thomas signed with the Houston Texans, 1 year, $2 million. For that cheap, I would have liked to retain Joe Thomas, seeing how he's a guy I can trust to come in, especially with the health concerns of Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. I don't know why for $2 million the Cowboys decided not to sign him back. I guess they're cool with Luke Gifford and Francis Bernard. I trust Joe Thomas more. I don't know what that was all about. Chidobe Awuzie signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. Probably another comp pick. I didn't really expect them to bring him back, seeing how his market value was a little high for our liking. Jordan Lewis probably ends up coming back if the market is right for him, because I think the Cowboys need to retain at least one of the departing cornerback free agents, especially if you're going to cut Anthony Brown, just for sole depth purposes. Even if they don't sign Patrick Peterson, I think that becomes even more of an issue if you're not retaining any of the departing cornerback free agents. As far as everything else, man, that is about it. We have yet to see guys like Tyron Crawford, who I don't think will get re-signed, come back. Sean Lee, maybe he comes back, but as a coach, I think his playing career is about over. Justin March, Xavier Woods, Jordan Lewis, as previously mentioned, not back yet. Jordan Mills, Joe Looney, another guy I'm surprised they didn't bring back. Malik Turner, I don't think they'll be bringing him back. They already got, like I said, Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown. Blake Bell is not back either. Those are all names that not necessarily I want back, but just haven't been brought back yet. Last but not least, I do want to go over did I say Aldon Smith? I don't think I said Aldon Smith. If I did, I apologize. I want Aldon Smith back. Cowboys, please, 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 please get Aldon Smith back. For $4 million, you can get 5.5 sacks. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Come on. Jerry and Steven, let's go. Let's get this thing rolling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little rant. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all in the next one.